Welcome back. I'm joined by Daniel Dorman, who is helping us unpack what is happening with respect to Chinese interference in our Canadian democratic institutions, and specifically our democratic processes, the elections. Thank you, Daniel, again for joining me. Now, you mentioned there were several leaks, or a handful of leaks, to the Globe and Mail by a CSIS insider. And I remember when some of these leaks were first appeared, the government did eventually respond and commissioned, I believe it was then Governor General or former Governor General Johnson to be part of an investigation or to come up with a report to examine what exactly is going on. What happened to that, and what happened with his role there?
Yeah, it's a great question. As you say, as the leaks were starting to come out, it really took a few stages for the government to act. In the initial stage, there was the sort of denial, comments from Trudeau. Essentially, well, it didn't majorly change the outcome of the election, which just seems to be a pretty flippant attitude, frankly. Um, or implications that those calling for an inquiry, calling for robust government attention to the issue were somehow racist, even though many of those calling for it were in fact diaspora groups of Chinese origin, ethnic minorities in Canada. But getting over that hump, the Trudeau government did call, as you say, Johnson as a special rapporteur, which is sort of an invented role. But it really became clear that Johnson personally had some ties to China, and I think he was a man who served Canada well in many roles, but this was not a role given that he was fit for, and eventually he recognized that and bowed out, thankfully.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
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 we
and
can't
then
have somebody
post.
with ties to China investigating Chinese interference, right? That would be not good.
Even if it's only the level of the public wouldn't trust the outcome, I don't want to, necessarily impute his integrity in it, but the reality is there was an appearance issue, and that should have been recognized from the start.
Right, right. So let's talk about this latest report commission. So what is this report, and how did it emerge?
Yeah, absolutely. So the National Security Intelligence Committee of Parliamentarians, or NISICOP, is a group of parliamentarians from all parties, but is an advisory group to the Prime Minister. They created this report for the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office held onto it for a couple months, highly redacted it, and then released it to the public. Now, there's reasons why they would redact pieces of it, ongoing investigations and different things going on there. But even what was released was quite shocking. And it's what led many national security experts in Canada to outright say, there is treason here. If you
Right.
have, in some instances, the witting participation, that is the knowing participation of an elected member of Canada's parliament, passing classified documents. There's the implication that happened in a couple instances, passing classified documents to foreign actors. That's extremely serious, and of course the names and are redacted. And there's even more recently at the Hogue inquiry, which is the foreign interference inquiry that is now ongoing post the initial Johnson inquiry, implications that all parties are implicated in this, and that's probably true. We've actually known that the whole time. The reality is we still need to know what's going on, and we need to ensure that our democracy is protected, sort of beyond any partisan implications of it. So, yeah, I think that's the summary of what's going on
So
now.
when you say it's heavily redacted, meaning we can't see the names of foreign agents working here, or elected officials with ties to China working hand in hand or passing this confidential information?
Yeah, we can't see, in some cases we can see the country. So if it's China, or the report also flagged interference from India is growing, as well as Russia and Iran, and other unnamed actors. But in some cases we can see which foreign country is interfering in Canada. What we can't see is the names of the parliamentarians who have either knowingly or unknowingly helped these countries, and there's reasons for that. Even in terms of the intelligence gathering process, we could be compromising investigations, we could be compromising intelligence sources to release that. and there are fellows at MLI that can speak to those details.
Right.
But regardless, there is a lot that has yet to come out into the public eye around some of these allegations.
Wow. Well, I suspect when it finally does come out, there will be a lot of eyebrows raised and a lot of finger pointing. We're going to pick up this discussion when we return from this commercial break. Please stick around.